Lakers trailed the Nuggets 2-0. Game 3 is tonight in Los Angeles. Denver has beaten the Lakers now 10 straight games. And that dates all the way back to January of last year. Nikola Jokic has averaged 27, 14, and 11 in those games. And even though the Nuggets are leading 2-0 in this series, the Lakers have shown signs they can beat them. Despite the losses, they've been more efficient team in the series, better field goal percentage, three-point percentage as well. However, they are averaging nearly double the turnovers per game as the Nuggets. That's been their Achilles heel. So back here with Legs, I told you got a 3-step plan.
Yeah.
3-step plan for the Lakers to get back into the series.
All right, step one, believe.
Okay.
And that might be a lot because of what you just said. 10 straight games, and including a situation like the other night where you can't play better offensively for 3.5 quarters of that game. And you have the lead. Your stars play great. You get a role player, D'Angelo Russell plays great, and you still lose the game. So listen, say and believe is an easier thing to do than actually accomplish it between the ears against this team. But that's where it starts. Secondly, you got to mix up your defenses, I think, a little bit better. They gave Denver a steady dose of straight-up coverage on Jokic as that lead was being reduced late in that game. I think he's too smart for that. You cannot give him one look consistently, trip after trip. Mix your defenses up a little bit better. And then the final thing, and I know you've got a lot to deal with in Jokic and Murray, Michael Porter Jr. has torched you. He's done it the first 2 games of this series. He's done it consistently over the last couple of years, shooting almost 50% from the three-point line. You can't treat him the same way you treat Aaron Gordon and KCP. You've got to make sure you stay home with him. If that means you leave Aaron Gordon, you leave KCP, you leave Christian Brown for some wide open three-point looks, Reggie Jackson, whoever it may be, I think it's time to start thinking about doing that, because that 16, 18, 20, whatever it is that Porter's giving you, that is just exactly enough for Denver in supplemental offense. Somebody has to be limited. He's the kind of guy you can stay home with, go face-to-face coverage, and not let him get some of the clean looks.
It's amazing the way he's playing, considering what he's dealing with off the court that he's producing for the Nuggets. You look at this series, LeBron down 0-2, KD down 0-2. Steph's not even in the playoffs, and so much of this era has been defined by those 3 guys. You see any of them winning championships?
Hard to imagine. Look, they've got 10 rings between the 3 of them, and I think that's going to be where it's going to finish. Only way I could see it happening is if somebody changed teams. Like, I don't think Steph Curry is going to play in another jersey besides the Golden State Warriors. I don't think LeBron James is going anywhere else besides L.A. Kevin Durant, who knows? He's probably more of a wild card in that regard. He doesn't seem like right now he's in a particularly great state of mind. He seems a little bit demoralized with what's going on in Phoenix. But listen, when you add up their ages, when you add up mainly, Brian, how good the rest of the West is with younger, better teams, with young stars, on the rise, with Luka, with Anthony Edwards, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? I mean, these teams are coming for the Western Conference. Hard to imagine these 3 vets all in their, mid to late 30s being able to find it currently, certainly not in the current situation that they're in, making another run of the title in the Western Conference.
I can't get the break without getting your answer to this, because I know how much you love the Washington Commanders. Who do you want to see them pick at?
Listen, I've been pretty consistent. Drake May was the guy that I've kind of been hoping for the whole time, but I am the ultimate benefit of the doubt guy. If they say it's Jay Daniels, I'm all in. I trust Adam Peters inherently. Let's go.
There you go. Speaking of Jay, and we're going to do a little game of fact and fiction with Legs. Legs, Celtics in trouble against Miami. Is that fact or fiction?
I'm going to say fiction. One game is not trouble. One game should be smelling salts for the Boston Celtics. That's really all it should be. You got our attention. Clearly the better team, more complete, more versatile. They've got to send a message in Game 3, though. If they don't go down to Miami and immediately flip this script and win Game 3, now you're going to see potentially a 7-game series with a lot of drama. But so far, I can't say it's trouble after just one performance.
Let's go out west. LeBron, Lakers, will they be swept by Denver? Is that fact or fiction?
I'm going to say fiction for this reason. I have too much respect for LeBron James and Anthony Davis and the way that they are playing right now. You think about what happened in Game 2. They controlled that game for 85% of the game. They just could not close and they ran into a team that's a buzzsaw in clutch time situations. But the Lakers controlled the game, and they really got to their spots, ran their offense the way they needed to. I expect the Lakers changing venues to get at least one game at home.
I know you heard Joel Embiid. Embiid and the Sixers can still win the series against the Knicks. Is that fact or fiction?
I got to say fiction, the way Embiid looks. It really comes down to that. I mean, I can't deny what I'm seeing. He just does not have the defensive mobility. He's not a presence on the glass to the extent that he needs to be, and he's a one-dimensional offensive player now, basically living on the perimeter because he's got no lift in the paint. When you look at Joel Embiid being maybe 60, 70% at max of what he is capable of, I just don't know how the Sixers overcome that, particularly when some of their role players have just not inserted themselves into this series at all to this point.
Well, you talked about the big men. Look at this. Joel Embiid hasn't been really himself in the playoffs, especially once the fourth quarter starts. In both games combined, Embiid just 11 fourth quarter points, and he has yet to record a rebound. 52 of Embiid's 63 total points in this series have come in the first three quarters. So can Philly overcome Joel Embiid, you think, obvious limitations and win games 4?
Look, it's not out of the question because I think the Knicks are uncertain in a lot of ways, right? Their offense is a little bit sporadic. You don't know exactly where it's coming from, and Jalen Brunson hasn't found his rhythm yet.
It's been Josh Hart.
Absolutely. So can the Sixers do it? Yes, but when I look at Joel Embiid, I just don't know how you operate your offense the way you did all season when he's relegated to the way he looks in the second halves of these games. Now, look, he had an extra day off. Does that make him look better at the start of the game? Potentially. He might come out and be dominant in the first quarter, but as the game goes on, that is when we have seen Joel Embiid, you know, the look on his face, the stiffness in the leg, the way he's changing ends of the floor. He's just not the same player, and he occupies really one area of the floor on the other end. Now, look, it's going to take this. Kelly Oubre, Buddy Hield, Nicholas Batum, Kyle Lowry. Those are the guys that are going to have to step up and really give them a boost, and that just hasn't been the case so far in the first two games. I think I'm pretty confident what Maxi's going to look like. He is a legitimate star. Embiid's health is the single biggest question mark in this series. So can they do it? Yes. Is it likely? No, not the way he looks.
Yeah, you went and got Buddy Hield for shooting. You haven't seen it yet. Tobias Harris, you'd like to see him step up as well. Finish this sentence then for me. Philly will win game 3 if
they can continue to – if Philly or the Knicks?
Philly.
Philadelphia will win this series if they get some help from their supporting cast and Jalen Brunson struggles again. I don't think the Knicks are going to win a third straight game with Jalen Brunson shooting the basketball like this. And look, the Sixers have a lot to do with it. The length they have put on him has clearly bothered him. They're doing a great job of trailing him from behind and getting over the top with contests, and I think it's affecting him. He's getting to his spots, but these aren't clean looks. If he struggles again in game 3, Sixers are going to win the game. Question is, do you expect Jalen Brunson in the year he's had to do that 3 straight games? That's a big one. And then the Sixers have to get some help from the guys I just mentioned.
Yeah, we'll see.